Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Magic Arena Explorer video. So today we're playing a little bit of Mono Black mid-range. So there's a few variants of Mono Black in the format, Aggro, Devotion, but we're playing mid-range. It is a shame that we don't have Smuggler's Copter, recently unbanned in Pioneer on the client, because I think that would fit into this deck quite nicely. But unfortunately, we are just running the sort of more mid-range version of Mono Black. So just running through the cards that we have, unsurprisingly, as many black decks in the format do. At 1 drop we have Thoughtseize and Fatal Push. We're also running 1 copy of Cling to Dust. It's a good way of just dealing with specific cards in the opponent's graveyard. Then our 2 drops are 1 copy of Bitter Triumph and 2 Shieldred's Edict as some removal, 1 Sign in Blood to help us draw cards, so we draw 2 cards and lose 2 life, 2 Wreck and a Bankbuster, also a card draw engine as well as a vehicle, and then not really a 2-drop, but the Meathook Massacre is our mass removal spell. Then where 3 drops is where a lot of our most powerful cards are, so we've got 4 copies of Graveyard Trespasser. Unsurprisingly, one of the best mid-range cards in the format, 3/3 for 3 with Ward of Discard a card, dealing with opponents' graveyards, flips to Graveyard Glutton from time to time. Then a new card with Preacher of the Schism, so this is from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. So this is a 2/4 with Death Touch, and whenever it attacks, the player with the most life total, or tied for the most life, you create a white 1/1 vampire creature token with lifelink, and when it attacks while you have the most life, you draw a card and lose 1 life, so you do get quite a lot of value off this. And on those rare occasions where you do get to attack when you have the same life total as the opponent, you do get both of those, so that's quite good fun. Bloodline Culling, so this is another good targeted removal spell. Choose 1, target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn, so it can deal with pretty much everything in the format, but also has another mode that creature tokens get -2/-2, so if you're facing down something like Convoke, Boros Convoke or something like that, then the ability to deal with all of their creature tokens can be pretty tasty as well. Liliana of the Veil, very powerful mid-range planeswalker, discarding cards, sacrificing creatures, it's all good. Then we've got a lot of 4 drops as well, so we've got Hagra Mauling, which is a way of destroying creatures, but also can act as a land as well if we need it. 1 copy of Kalatas, Traitor of Get, 2 copies of Shieldred the Apocalypse, then our other Planeswalker with Sorin the Mirthless, so this has a number of good abilities, including a +1 that generates some cards. Card advantage, -2 to create a black vampire creature token, and then the End, so this is a removal spell that exiles any creature or planeswalker and all other copies of that in the opponent's graveyard, hand and library, so can come in handy, particularly dealing with those decks that rely on particular creatures like Greasefang. And then, like any self-respecting mono-black mid-range deck, 3 copies of Invoke Despair, 5 mana, 4 black, with 4 black pips. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. If they can't, they lose 2 life, you draw a card, then repeat the process for Enchantment and Planeswalker. Then in our mana base, we have 13 Swamps, unsurprisingly in a mono-black deck, but also 4 copies of Castle Lochthwain, 2 Hive of the Eye Tyrant, and a Takenuma. And then we're running 3 Field of Ruin as well, as we have plenty of basic lands to fetch up with it, and can deal with the opponent's particularly problematic lands like Nykthos or whatever it may be. So that is the main deck. Then in the sideboard, we've got 2 copies of Duress, as more hand disruption to bring in. Pithing Needle, so shutting down individual cards like any planeswalker, 2 unlicensed turfs, so that adds some additional targeted graveyard hate. Go Blank, similarly attacking the opponent's hand and their graveyard. 1 copy of Liliana the Last Hope, so this is particularly good at sniping down 1 toughness creatures, as well as eventually creating a unstoppable army of zombie tokens. Necromentia, so taking out particular cards from the opponent's library, Path of Peril, Mass Removal, which we can kind of modulate to kind of suit ourselves, mainly using it on its 3 mana ability. Tainted Remedy, just shutting down opponent's life gain, and then 2 copies of Extinction Event as more mass removal. So that's the deck, fairly self-explanatory. It's mid-range, it's mono-black. Mid-range is a powerful strategy in this format. So yeah, let's see what Mono Black can do. Thank you very much for watching. Hit those like and subscribe buttons as ever. Thank you for the support. And let's go onto the ladder. Rightio. Yeah, this is okay. No 1-drop or 2-drop is a little disappointing, but I think Liliana might do a lot of work for us here. So the opponent's on Yorion. Yeah, we've seen a resurgence of Yorion decks recently in the format. A lot of people seem to be playing that companion, so that's interesting, but not a control deck. So it could be a more typical Fires style deck. Yep, Nylea's presence is very much of that theme. So let's drop a Liliana. Start the discard train rolling. What's this? Sky Tether. Interesting. Okay, we'll eventually get rid of that with
That's my cue to leave.
Invoke Despair. But in the meantime, just pop Trespasser into play. Okay, they got stuck on lands there, so not a hugely interesting game one, but I think let's pop in Necromentia against this. We can potentially take out all of their Fires of Inventions. Duress, I think, is fine. Then Bloodline Culling, I think, can come out here. Probably one Fatal Push as well. I'll stick in one Go Blank in place of another Fatal Push, actually. I think that's not a bad shout. My fringe is all over the place. Need a haircut. I apologise for not being as elegant as I could be on screen. Never mind. Okay, well, Thoughtseize is a decent start, but we are going to need another... I don't know why they're still playing Sky Tether. Going to need another land at some point. Yep, that'll do. So I think I'm leading with Trespasser here, just because it costs them more to stick it under a binding. Or maybe I'm just playing Necromentia. Okay, well, let's take all of their Fires of Inventions. Oh, so what's in their hands? Leyline Binding still, yep, that's basically the same. So yeah, it's a pretty standard Fires Incarnation deck. Okay, that's good. So I still need one more land to get Invoke Despair online when they cast Kenrith. No, they're just going to Fable instead. Well, Invoke's a pretty good answer to that if they... Yep, so let's attack first and see what they do. So let's play Invoke Despair. We know they don't have an answer for this. Well, they might do, actually. They have one card hidden. Yep, they're going to Leyline Binding my Trespasser. And just, I imagine, yep, not pay the ward. That's fine, because I have another Invoke Despair. Oh, they ditch Kenrith. That's interesting. Yep, there's a lot of durdling going on. None of it hugely interesting. Okay, well, let's play Duress. Look at their hand. Nimble Larcenist and... interesting. Okay, well... let's play Kalitas. There's no way they have the mana, surely, to play both of those. Oh, they do. How unreasonable. Playing that Deputy of Detention into my Meathook Massacre doesn't feel like a good idea. So maybe they might do it. Well, I suppose if you don't, then I get 2 zombies off out of... No, that's fine. Ooh, okay, well that's fun. So let's Thoughtseize. Ooh, Rest in Peace does not bother me, so let's take Yorion. Let's Meathook Massacre for 2. And now if they deputy it, not really that bad. What does this do? Okay, yep. You gain 2 life. Okay. Well, I'll sacrifice one of my zombies. Yep, Deputy makes sense. Disappointing that they have 2 creatures. Yeah, rest in peace isn't that much of a big deal. So let's take whatever their last card is. It's a land, fine. So in which case, I think we'll play Preacher of the Schism here. Okay, nothing of interest going on for our opponents, so let's play Liliana. Oh no, Dovan's Veto is not bad. Well, I'll attack with Preacher. Play a land, no point playing Go Blank. Okay, they're cycling a lot of their lands, which is helping them. And drawing another card. Well, I admire the effort. Okay, well, let's send in Preacher again. The end is pretty decent, actually. So, let's cast that against their Deputy of Detention. They probably don't have any more copies of it. Nope. Now let's go blank them, just because we can. And it stops them drawing a card next turn. Okay, so they can go off with Path to the World Tree. I think I'm just attacking with all here. Trespasser's not much good, but... Okay. Sacrifice another zombie or vampire. I'll do that then. Oops. Excellent. So we're on the draw, but this is pretty decent. Early removal, card draw. Okay, the opponent is on what looks like a Amalia combo to me. Okay, that's a pretty good turn one draw. Ha! So, this is a tough one, isn't it? So, I could take Amalia, gets it off the battlefield. I could take Voice of Resurgence, and then kill Amalia. They can't play Amalia or Voice at the moment, actually. So I could take Coco. They're miles from being able to play Return to the Ranks. Yeah, I'll take Collected Company here. God damn it. Okay. Well, let's... Bitter Triumph their Scout. Discarding... Invoke Despair, I think, here. Okay, let's pop Trespasser into play. Let's start eating away at their graveyard. Okay, let's play Liliana. Sack a creature.
And you think you can win? Off you go.
Yeah, I think I'm trading my Innkeeper, my Trespasser here for their token. Yep, that land draw has wrecked us there. We could have taken one of their other cards, but yeah, we took the risk, didn't work out. It happens.
Knew this was a waste of time.
Yep, we can scoop this one up. So, let's pop in Necromentia. Path of Peril. Extinction Event. I think that will do. And what are we taking out here? Thoughtseize is okay. Edict is not great, I don't think, here. Neither is Bankbuster. The End I quite like. Bloodline Culling is fine. Invoke Despair is probably too slow. So let's take all of those out. And actually, let's have Liliana, the Last Hope, because it kills things like Innkeeper. Right, let's do a little bit better and hope they don't draw the perfect card. Well, it's a bit slow, but I don't think it's a... It's got enough good stuff in it that as long as we draw a third land, I think we're in pretty good shape. Okay. Well, that's something. Okay, well, let's... get all the copies of Amalia out their deck. And then we'll meet Hook Massacre shortly. So, let's play Preacher of the Schism, I think, here. Just get a Death Toucher onto the battlefield. Okay, I think this is going to be a pretty tasty Meat Hook Massacre. Going to be a very tasty Meat Hook Massacre. Okay, well, we may as well just massacre for 2. Don't think massacring for 3 does anything more for us, so... Okay. So let's Bloodline culling this 5/5. Now let's Bitter Triumph their other 5/5. Pass the turn. Okay, they still can't quite cast Collected Company, so I'm tempted to Necromentia away all of their Collected Companies here. Now they do get a 2/2 out of it, but I think that's okay. Right, well that's something. So let's Liliana of the Vale.
This is my home.
Sack a
and
creature.
I don't appreciate it when people touch my sacrifices must be made.
Let's play Graveyard Trespasser. Eat one of their voices. Block, take 6. That's pretty bad. Yep, we are dead. Okay. And we didn't even get killed by the combo. They just aggroed us out there. Interesting. Yep, this is a keepable opening hand. I would like to Thoughtseize, but you always kill the elf. You never let the elf live. Ooh, dinos, okay. So let's play Thoughtseize. We'll take their Ripjaw Raptor here, as Golter isn't coming down for a smidge. I'll have had time to come up with another plan by the time they play Golter. Okay, let's play Trespasser. If they want to kill it, it's going to cost them a card from their hand. Yep. Ew, the Meat Hook Massacre's a pretty rough draw. Okay, well, let's take Golter out their hand. And just hope for the best here now, I think. Land is good. Okay, that's not terrible, so let's pass the turn. Kill one of their raptors. Now we can play Invoke Despair. Follow it up with another Invoke Despair. Okay, let's... what are we doing here? We're still on 3 life, which is not ideal. So let's play Bankbuster into Preacher of the Schism, I think. Okay, so let's Bloodline culling their Regisaur Alpha. Fatal Push there. 3-3 now. This, yep. I was going to say, that would give us a 1-1 with lifelink, which is kind of what we want, so that's good. So, Fatal Push good, Thoughtseize reasonable, Necromentia not so much, Path of Peril not so much. Liliana Last Hope kills elves, but by the time that comes around it's probably too late, so I think Go Blank's a decent shout. Edict is just fine, probably not that good actually, so let's take that out. A couple of Extinction Events is decent, and we'll swap out one Invoke Despair and one Thought. Maybe the Meathook Massacre's not great here because they have so many high toughness creatures. Yeah, that's probably better. Yep. My extremely scientific sideboarding. It's why you come. I just feel nervous about keeping 2 land hands with a deck like this. Hunter, Pugnacious Hammerskull, Cindervines. Well, I'm kind of dead if I don't draw a 3rd land, so may as well just slow them down as much as possible. Okay, that is a land. Yeah, that's a good target for Liliana of the Vale, so...
Something suspicious is going on. Off you go.
Okay, that's a decent draw, so let's Fatal Push that. Play Trespasser. Eat their Hammerskull and start gaining back some of the life we've lost. Okay, they were not sticking around for that. Yeah, I don't hate this hand. Some kind of Phoenix deck, perhaps? It is all the rage at the moment. So, at some level, I want to keep this for Phoenix, but then I have the end for the Phoenixes, so maybe just casting it is fine. We can Fatal Push a Prankster, Cling to Dust a Sleight of Hand, draw a card. Yeah, that seems fine. Then Shieldred ruins their lives. Well, they'll probably have a Lightning Axe, but if they don't, then... yeah, it's not a card you want to see when you're playing a lot of cantrips. No, let's just slam Shieldred here. No immediate lightning axe. Okay, that makes sense. And no second Phoenix is ideal, so the end is going to snipe all 4 of them here. Which is pretty darn tasty. Oh, that's very satisfying, isn't it? Okay, let's play another Shieldred. We're getting a bit little hamstruck. Words. I've completely forgotten how to use my words. Still no land. Well, in which case we'll just keep playing creatures, because to be honest, they're not presenting that much of a clock. Okay, Borrower is now more of a clock. Well, that is at least a land, I suppose. So let's play Kalitas. Now, I'm going to take that Spell Pierce. Or you're going to cast it. Okay. Well, at least their hand cleared out. So let's Bloodline culling their Ledger Shredder. Follow it up with a Shieldred's Edict. Land? It's never land. If they start highlighting their graveyard, I'm going. It's flipping Treasure Cruise, isn't it? Ooh. Ooh, I'm livid. Absolute villainy. Well, I'll pay the 1. So let's drop Trespasser into play. Start chewing through their graveyard a little. So I could cast Liliana here, but their hand's empty. So maybe I'll just cling to dust instead. Now, do I want the life or do I want the card? Their hasters are all dead, so I'm just going to take their Treasure Cruise here. Doesn't matter what I exile from my graveyard. Got 22 cards left in their library. I must have taken most of their win conditions out by now. Liliana. I'm not playing Sign in Blood anytime soon.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
Decent. To be fair, so is that. Oh look, another treasure cruise. Can't tell you how thrilled I am to see it. What? Interesting. Okay, they were giving up. Fair enough. So, how do we feel about Phoenix? Well, like go blank. Extinction Event, Unlicensed Hearse, Necromentia. Thoughtseize is bad in this matchup. Meathook Massacre isn't great, neither is Bitter Triumph. Preacher of the Schism is probably not great. Liliana's decent. Yeah, let's take out Preacher. Bit more of a control deck really now rather than a mid-range deck. But I'm nothing if not versatile. Don't quote me on that. It's not even true. And it's a no from me, I'm afraid. It's a painfully slow hand, but hopefully it might do something eventually. Wow. Absolute cheek. Well, I'll play it again. Unbelievable.
Prepare to marvel at my masterpiece.
Yep. Ain't having that in my life. I'll be honest, don't think I'm going to put up with that either. So Trespasser into Go Blank is going to do us some pretty nice work. Oh, that's a shame. Not sure I can reliably make sure that's in the graveyard at any point from now on, so... Whoops, hit the wrong one. Discarding another Phoenix is quite interesting. Okay, that makes sense. Wanted to protect the Drake. Won't be able to protect it for long though, because it's about to die. I will... Oh, I don't have any creatures, so I'll just eat their Consider. keep them a long way from casting treasure cruise. Okay, we've got a decent answer to that at least. I'm probably going to be so livid when I cast this Invoke Despair. But you know what? I think it's quite funny. Yeah, I thought that might happen. Very good. Okay, we gave Phoenix a proper mauling there. Yeah, all of the incidental graveyard hate in this deck does really mount up against Izzet Phoenix. The fact that we were able to cast the end on their Phoenixes in the first game as well was particularly joyous. So yeah, that was mono-black mid-range. Not much to say, it's a very good deck, it's fun to play, it's got some powerful cards. Yeah, very good. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, hit me up if you've seen anything similar to this, any other deck suggestions, always appreciate them. And yeah, thanks very much for watching. Like and subscribe as ever, and I will see you next time.